Sports Talk Chicago. We're Jon Zaghloul, and we are back and ready for today's special guest. He's a sports radio pioneer, host of The Odds Couple on ESPN 1000, and a contributor to the Barroom Network. Please welcome Mike North to the program. Mike, it's great to have you back. How are you?
Big John, it's good to be back. You know what? For you, it's always a pleasure, and there's a lot of good stuff to talk about.
What was your reaction to this whole Matt Nagy and Mitch Trubisky report?
I think it's terrible. I don't think Matt Nagy should ever be a head coach in the NFL again. I think that's the kind of thing that is close to treasonous. I mean, the fact that, you have Mitch Trubisky who had ideas to make things better for everybody involved, the team, including himself. He never said, I'm not looking to, usurp your authority. I'm looking to maybe make myself better and make you more of a success. And Matt Nagy said, I'll meet you, and then he didn't. So he's a punk. He shouldn't have worn the head coaching headdress of the Chicago Bears, the headphones, if you will. I just find it appalling. I coached for 6 years at Notre Dame college prep. We won 20 games a year after the first year. And there were players that out of the 12 players and the 15 that you would have, there'd be guys that would rub you the wrong way. But you did everything in your power to make sure that you made them better so they wouldn't rub other people the wrong way. Because I always felt if a kid's going to rub me the wrong way, then it's going to turn off other people, because I'm still a kid at heart. And I used to turn people off, and I still do with some of my antics back in the day. So I just find it appalling and such. There's not even a word for it besides treasonous and what he did and how the media, shame on all of them. I always, when I'm on Barroom, I'm on with Munch out there in Cleveland, JT the Brick in Vegas, Visson with Paulie Howard and Mitch Moss. I always, and of course, AM 1000 with Carmen, told everybody what happened with Trubisky and Nagy. How come we can't get an answer? And nobody pressed them. See, and that is appalling if you cover the Bears. Now, if you want to know, I'm not going to name names, go check. The same people that didn't want to dig or did not want to let the people know, okay, because they had an agenda for Foles. They had an agenda for Fields. They carried the Bears water. How do you come out now with this story and then hold your head high and say, I went to Medill at Northwestern, or I went to Ball State, or I went to here and I went to there? How do you not know that? I mean, it's no different than the Blackhawks in 2010. You're hearing about a story 20 years later. I mean, so the journalism end of this is appalling. The football minds are appalling. And I mean, with all due respect, Mitch Trubisky's the number one free agent quarterback out there, period. And I don't know what you're going to do as a head coach. And I don't know why people are interviewing head coaches at Halas Hall before you have a GM. That should be his job. So this whole thing is screwed up. I read a tweet before I came on the air by Ryan Heckman, good guy. He goes, don't believe that the Bears would take a draft pick for Justin Fields. It's only a rumor. What the rumor is if anybody would offer a draft pick for Justin Fields. That's the rumor. Because I'm here to tell you, Ryan and everybody else, if we're offered a 7th round pick, we should take it. Then the Bears should hire that kid from Buffalo, that man from Buffalo, or somebody else, go get Mitch Trubisky back and start this thing going again. Period. Because what are we going to do? Sit for 4 years at Justin Fields? Come on. Come on. Have you been watching? I don't care if it's the first year. He's got all sorts of issues. So, maybe the new guy comes in, but they're going to hire somebody, and his life and coaching tenure will depend on if he's going to hang with Justin Fields. And that's wrong. They should bring in another quarterback. And if they don't want to bring Mitch in, bring Mariota in, bring anybody in. Try somebody else.
Do you even trust the Bears at this point to get a hiring right? I mean, they kept Matt Nagy knowing this information and then kept him with Justin Fields and had him work for a year. That's a big problem to me.
Yeah, I saw that with your show. That was a great cut. How the hell? I mean, the thing that's appalling to me is Nagy was calling plays for a kid that he wanted to see fail. And the kid succeeded despite Nagy. Yet I'm hearing the kid's a bum. We'll find out if he's a bum this year. If he's still a second string quarterback, good for him. If he makes $4 or $5 million, fine. I don't see how that can be, because I've seen 6, 7 quarterbacks this year that he's better than. Period. Don't make me name them. We don't have enough time on the show. There's a ton of them. I mean, I look at Ryan Tannehill, and that was Mitch Trubisky with the Bears, Ryan Tannehill with Miami. They said he was a bum, said he could never get it done, said he wasn't a franchise quarterback. Get rid of his ass. Okay? Well, guess what? They're the number 1 seed. Vrabel is coach of the year, in my opinion, being the number 1 seed in the AFC. Are you kidding me? It better not be anybody else. And what Tannehill's done without Derrick Henry, everybody said he'd fail. The same people that say Trubisky will fail. We'll see. I remember Steve Young was a bust with Tampa Bay. I remember Jim Plunkett was a bust with the 49ers and the Patriots. So it won't surprise me winning 6 seeds.
Were you surprised by this entire report regarding Nagy?
No, I knew something happened. The difference is, if I was in my, I guess, maybe I could have worked harder back in the day, I would have found out from somebody. The fact that nobody knew, give me a break. You're a journalist and you knew that there was a problem between these two, and you put it in your hip pocket, and then you put yourself on a byline covering the Bears, and you act like nobody knows that you carry the water for the Bears. I'm not naming anybody specifically. I'm almost naming everybody. How's that? I mean, it's ridiculous that you find out about this stuff 2 years later, but they want to keep their gigs.
And you notice how convenient it is. Nagy was fired. Then a week later, this report comes out. And Trubisky's already gone. Everybody's gone. That was so enraging to me. I couldn't be more pissed off when I saw that.
Well, and I mean, that's why you can't take anything that Bear writers seriously. And I got some good friends that are Bear writers, but I'm just being honest. You sit on a story for 2 years, you back Nagy, you try to sell people, you sell, and 75% of the Bear fans are meatballs. I mean, you look at Trubisky's stats and then you call him a bust, you're a meatball. You don't know anything about the game. I mean, you can't tell me. I always ask people, tell me why he's a bust. He's not accurate. He's the most accurate passer in Bear history. Well, he doesn't throw the ball deep. If Tom Brady don't throw the ball deep, Joe Montana he used to throw 10-yard passes that turned into 50-yarders by Jerry Rice. Please, knock it off. I mean, we had a quarterback. We had everything set. And now we got to go through 3 to 4 more years of hell unless they do something smart and look at another quarterback.
Do you buy the report that Fields could be traded?
I hope so. Fields? If they trade him, here's what the Bears are afraid of. Let's say somebody like Dable does come in. Let's say Josh McDaniel comes in and Fields turns into something. Let's say it was Nagy. Although Nagy didn't want to play Fields this year because he saw him in practice. He holds on to the ball too long. He's not accurate. But see, Nagy did this to himself. I've never seen a man self-destruct a coaching career. I've never seen it. And I don't want to hear about any names that are attached to great quarterbacks. And we saw it with Nagy and Mahomes. I don't want that. I don't want Bieniemy because he doesn't call the plays anyway, and he has Mahomes. I don't want Byron Leftwich. I mean, people used to tell me he was going to be a superstar when he was at Marshall. I said, no, he's not. I'm here arguing now that he's going to be a great head coach. Bring Tom Brady with you, please. Because Jameis Winston was good before he got to you, and he led the league in turnovers under your tutelage. I don't care where they stood in offensive ranking. You can't win when you lead the league in turnovers as a quarterback, like Justin Fields did. So I don't know. Maybe the next Bear coach we get we've never heard of. You know who I like? It's sort of weird. Todd Bowles.
Really?
I like Todd Bowles. I think he's paid his dues and he wins. Now, is he just a coordinator? Did he learn? Who wins with the Jets anyway? You know? I sort of like him. I like McDaniel. I do like Caldwell, but I think Caldwell's maybe along the truth. I don't like any of the coordinators. I mean, here's what Daboll, my argument for him is that Josh Allen was horrible his first couple of years. But my argument against him is that if he comes and tries to use Justin Field in the same way as he uses Josh Allen, Field will get killed. Allen just knows how to take a hit. Allen is just more sturdy. Justin Fields has already had injury problems this year. I mean, I'm not giving up on the kid because I understand that all the rookie quarterbacks had struggles this year. But I'm telling you that if Dalton had been quarterback the whole season, or Trubisky, okay, I'm not going to put Foles there. I won't. I think the Bears would have had a shot at the playoffs. I've said that before.
That's a good point about Allen, too. He's 6'3", 240 pounds. Justin Fields isn't even close. So if you run that same offensive scheme, you could get killed.
You'll get killed. But, man, Josh Allen cures what ails you. But here's another thing. Look at Daboll's record with other teams. Horrible. So does he have the stud? The enemy has the stud. Nagy had the stud. Leftwich has the stud. Okay? Daboll has the stud. Maybe we go in a direction. Maybe we get a coach we've never heard of. I never heard of Sean McVay. I mean, I didn't know who the hell the guy was. Who's the guy from Cincinnati? I still don't know what his name is. You know what I mean? And he's good. But we didn't know these guys. Bruce Arians, like I knew who he was, but he was a surprise. You know, so maybe the next coach of the Bears is a guy that we've never heard of. I'm going to take a guess. It's going to be somebody from the Indianapolis organization. I'll take a wild guess. You know, I don't have any. I just saw a name, and it could be GM or head coach. You know what I mean? They got an assistant GM that's pretty good over there, from what I hear. And the Bill Polian thing is comical. Okay, I mean, come on. He wanted Lamar Jackson to be a wide receiver. You know, I know. I'm sorry. You know, he apologized for it later, but I'm sorry. The damage is done, and you're 79 years old. You could Ernie. Somebody said he's the new Ernie DeCourcy, who was the guy that was directing the Bears. Why do you have to bring outsiders in? Call me. I'll come over. McCaskey house. We'll go over some names, and that's it. Give me $50 plus gas money.
Let me ask you this. Who is the brighter future, Trubisky or Fields?
Trubisky.
Really?
Yeah.
Why do you say that?
I don't think that Fields is going to go 29-21, number one. I don't think Fields is going to go to two playoff seasons, number two. Not because of just him, because of the team. People don't understand. The Bears are the only team. Oh, they won in 2018 because of the defense. Look at Trubisky's year in 2018 and then learn about the game. He had a great year. So I'm always going to lean Trubisky over anybody. I'd lean Trubisky over anybody right now. There's nobody I'd rather have back. I'm being straight up. And if anybody wants to argue with me, did you really like the Justin Fields experiment, the Dalton experiment? They've all blown up in their faces. The reason Nagy's gone is he didn't want to work with Trubisky. Trubisky's going to go on. He'll be somewhere and he'll do something relevant in his career. I trust in him, but Nagy, I don't know where he goes from here.
You think he ever gets another job at Nagy after this and after this report too?
You mean a head coaching job or an assistant?
Head coach.
You get an assistant coaching job, but I would never hire him as a head coach. I would never hire him as a head coach. Ever. His judgment is flawed. Ever. I mean, just horrible. Just a horrible job. And for people to carry his water and use Trubisky and others. as a scapegoat. Look at Allen Robinson. He had 200 catches in 2 years with Trubisky. He has, 35 or something? This is his free agent year. This is what you hoist on him. So the whole thing has been a disaster, And
I know too.
If Trubisky had the year Fields had, they burned the stadium down. Instead, I can't wait till he gets in new hands. What's he going to do? I mean, we'll see what happens, but you need receivers. You need a line. It's not just Justin.
You think Fields?
70s. It's the early 70s, Johnny.
You think Fields ever has more than 24 touchdowns in a season? That's Mitch's career high.
I'm not going to say never, but do you think you'll ever have 6 touchdown passes in one game like Trubisky had?
That's a definite.
Do you think he'll be the highest percentage quarterback and take over for Trubisky? Do you think he'll have a higher rating? I'm going to say no to all that. Trubisky was a good player for this team. His sin was that Mahomes became bigger, but nobody wants to talk about Watson. I mean, the Watson thing is what everybody wanted, including me. Okay, we didn't get him. Watson turned out to be great. People said this. Well, how about now? I find it amazing that Watson is still under investigation and people are talking about, boy, next year he might play for the Dolphins. My God. They're trying to settle every case from what I understand, but there's 4 or 5 holdouts. Like he's going to just play next year, run on the field and, hey, you know what I did? And I'll get to play. I mean, the coverage, there's been a blackout in the coverage. Nobody knows what's going on. When Big Ben had his episode, every day you read about it. Every single day about the bathroom episode. Right, wrong, or indifferent. Can't find Watson news. Just can't find it. So there's a bias in everything.
I don't know if you saw this report too, Mike. Brian Flores, who the Bears interviewed to be a head coach, apparently he's had ties to Watson. They've been communicating. And apparently where Flores goes, Watson wants to go. So some people are saying, well, if the Bears hire him, maybe they'll get Watson. Or if Flores goes to New York or goes somewhere else, Watson will go with them. What do you think about that report?
Well, firstly, Watson's got to make sure he doesn't go to prison. Okay, or doesn't have a problem. Or doesn't, the NFL still hasn't suspended him. I mean, there's got to be some sort of consequences, but the case is still going on. Number one, Flores, if you can pull up Miami on your computer, I don't know if you can, and their opponents this year. I want you to look at who they beat. Okay, and I'll tell you who the quarterback was. Okay, first of all, tell me who they lost to start the season off with. I think if you go to ESPN.com, Miami Dolphins, they got it all down. Okay, so start off with the first loss. I think they lost the first game.
They beat New England to start, but then that's when they lost after that. Their 7 games in a row to Buffalo, the Raiders, the Colts, Buccaneers.
All right, hold on. Buffalo, quarterback, stable. The Raiders, Derek Carr. Next guy. Next team. What was the next team?
Carson Wentz.
Right.
And the Buccaneers.
Wait. List the teams that they lost to. Let's just try to do this orderly. Give me the team, and I'll give you the quarterback they beat.
Okay,
they beat Indy. They lost 7 in a row, didn't they, John?
Yep,
Give me the 7 in a row. Okay. I will just tell you, good quarterback. The next game, what was it?
Tampa Bay.
Tom Brady. Next game.
Jacksonville.
So they lost to Jacksonville with Trevor Lawrence and the Urban Meyer nonsense. Bad loss. Next one.
Atlanta Falcons.
Did they lose? They lost to the Falcons. Matty Ice, another established quarterback, okay? Now, is that the end of the losses, or is there another one there?
One more, Buffalo again.
With Josh Allen.
Correct.
Okay, now let's go to the winning games. Tell me each team who they beat, and I'll tell you who quarterbacked that game.
Houston Texans.
It might have been, it was the third stringer, okay? Whoever he was. Okay, next guy.
Baltimore Ravens.
They beat Lamar Jackson. But was he in that game? No. I think they beat somebody else. But go ahead. Give me another one.
The Jets.
That's what they bought. They beat the Jets twice. One with Joe Flacco and the other one with Wilson. Okay. 2 more bad quarterbacks. What I'm trying to tell you is they lost to teams with great quarterbacks or good quarterbacks, and they beat teams that had second and third stringers in. So I'm not enamored with Brian Flores. I was impressed with what he did. But when you look at who they lost to, and then you see what their schedule was going down the line, I give him credit for one thing. They never gave up, and they played every game to win. So that's a strength that he's got to sell on. And if he can sell it to him, more power to him. I won't say no to Brian Flores, but I want everybody to look through the screens, the smoke screen, about the teams he beat compared to the teams he didn't beat.
Mike North.
We got through that. That was good. We finally got through that.
Mike North.
That was
on Sports Talk Chicago.
Yeah.
Mike, a few more questions before we finish up. So who's your pick for GM and head coach right now? Who do you strongly prefer for both positions?
It's not who I prefer. It's who I don't want. I don't want any Chiefs assistants. I don't want any Tampa Bay assistants. I'm not even sold on the Buffalo guy. I like Josh McDaniel. I find it amazing that I was watching Visson this morning, and Paulie Howard's a real good host, says, Vegas, we might have a shot. Vegas might have a shot because they do the show from Vegas at Jim Harbaugh. There's some odds on Jim Harbaugh, but they're long odds. But how about Chicago? Oh, maybe Bieniemy, maybe Leftwich. Why can't we have Jim Harbaugh? Because we're not in Vegas? Why can't we have Jim Harbaugh? Because I'd take him over anybody right now, including Josh McDaniel, who I'm shading towards.
Why Jim Harbaugh, though? I mean, he's been out of the NFL for a long time.
Yeah, so was Pete Carroll. He came back. Jim Harbaugh has a record of like 40-19 or something. So, I mean, he knows how to coach. The recruiting thing in college is the thing that you got to give Jim Harbaugh credit for, too. They recruited well. They got some studs finally at Michigan. He beat Ohio State, but I don't think that's going to be a regular routine. So with his Super Bowl pedigree, with his former Bear pedigree, with the fact he does know how to coach, I would like him. But if not him, Josh McDaniel. If they want to, I like Todd Bowles. I like him. More of a defensive guy. Who am I mixing up to? Oh, Raheem Morris. Raheem Morris ain't bad, but I like Todd Bowles with the Jets, who was with the Jets, as a third option.
What about Leslie Frazier? I know there's been some talk around him. He's a Bears guy too, no?
Nah, he doesn't excite. I don't think he excites me. Nothing against Leslie. I think Leslie Frazier is one of the finest defensive coordinators in the business. But it's sort of like I equate him to Dick LeBeau, who was a coordinator, then became a coach. Dick Duran, who was a coordinator, then became a coach. There's very good defensive and offensive coordinators that when they go to the head coaching tree and put on that different set of headphones where they got to make the final decision, it just doesn't turn out, it just doesn't turn out completely right all the time.
Do you think
I'm on fire today?
Right, by the way. Do they get this right anyways? I mean, you're talking about all these great guys, all these great names, but do you think they even get this right?
No, they'll get it wrong. They'll do something politically correct, or they'll do something. They'll go on Bill Polian's word, or they'll read the newspaper. I mean, the fact that they're looking to hire a coach before GM is all you have to know about the backwardness of the Chicago Bear organization. I mean, it's amazing to me. It really is. Yeah, you don't saddle a GM with somebody he may not want, but it's going to be somebody that he's got to want. If they do it that way, the right way, get the GM, let him make his pick, stay your ass out of the way.
What gives you hope for this franchise, if anything?
Well, things can turn around quickly, but they don't. The thing with the Bears is they have no draft pick. That's why Justin Fields for a draft pick might be a good thing. Nothing against him, but if you can get somebody for him, why not? You got a chance to get rid of a guy that fumbled the ball 6 times through 10 interceptions, had like 17 to 18 turnovers, 7 touchdowns, losing record, 25 rating. You got a chance to get a draft pick for him. Maybe he turns into the next big thing. I would take me, the gambler I am. Give me a 5th rounder. Give me a 6th rounder if you got one, period. Good luck and take him, you know. I'd go after Mitch. I'd bring Mitch back. That would piss everybody off because I'm the only one that's been right about him. Because everybody else has been wrong about. See, what makes people right is if the people they select come through for them. So there's a whole cadre of people who have picked one of the former quarterbacks, including from Cutler to Glennon to Foles to Fields to Trubisky. I have stuck with Mitch all the way through. He's still the man. There's nobody. People go, why is Mitch still being talked about? Because he wasn't replaced. If you replace him, see, I remember people in Baltimore were mad that Milt Pappas, he was a pitcher, got traded for Frank Robinson. Okay. You know when they weren't pissed? When Frank Robinson won the Triple Crown and Baltimore won the World Series. That's when they stopped talking about Milt Pappas. So to get people to stop talking about Mitch Trubisky, one of these journalists or guys got to find a quarterback. They got to pick one sooner or later that they're going to be right on. That's all I'm asking them to do.
What's your response to those who come after you for your Mitch Trubisky support? I don't know if you saw the YouTube comments on our last video that we did, Mike. They were explosive. So
yeah.
What's your response to those?
How did we do, though?
Oh, there were a lot of people. 260.
Well, yeah, but how do you argue after what happened this year? How do you argue about anybody else? We went to the playoffs last year. You have no argument with me. I'm about winning. I'm about winning. I don't care about the stats. Look at Aaron Rodgers. He's a stat stuffer and a regular season hero. He's got 1 Super Bowl. Oh, he's going to win the MVP again. Tom Brady threw for 5,000 yards. My God, he's 44 years old. He's the MVP. My God. I mean, Rodgers is a regular season hero. Will he make it all the way? I doubt it. But we'll see. And if he does, then he's got his second one. But I love Mitch. I've never see, you know why? There's people that do like Mitch. There's closet Mitch fans all over. There are. But they're afraid because the woke bear fans. Oh, they want a running quarterback. What, like Kyler Murray? Is that what you want? Is that what we're looking at here? I watched him. He's not bad, but he's 5'7". I'll give Justin Fields this. He's a little bit taller. But I don't want a running quarterback. The best play of the year for Justin Fields was the run. Wasn't it?
Yeah, the one where he reversed.
I prefer my quarterback's best plays to be passing, period. And the best play he made was that run. And I don't want to sound like Bill Polian, but Bill Polian would probably say Justin Fields would make a better running back than quarterback. You know.
That's a good point, by the way. I mean, if he'd said Lamar Jackson would be a great wide receiver, why would the Bears bring him in with Justin Fields, knowing that he's supposed to be the franchise guy? I wouldn't trust Bill Polian to run that. Well,
I think it's good to bring in people. Bill Polian does have a lot of great credentials, but that was a bad one. And, I just think that bringing in lifers, old-time swamp guys, they're like the swamp. Where the swamp was made famous in Washington, these are all swamp people. They're all pals. They're comfortable with each other. What do you think, Billy? Yeah, I like it. Me too. Bring some dissenting voices in. Bring a guy like me in that will go, are you people out of your God-blessed minds? You want to take that guy? You want to take that guy? Already? Now over that guy? But they don't hear that. They're, what do you think? What do you think? I agree. Me too. Hi, Mom. She got the Zoom from the house, the Lake Forest estate.
I would pay to see you in a draft room with the McCaskies.
Oh, you're going to take who? Are you out of your minds? You want who to coach you? Didn't you see what he did? At least there's discussion. Well, George McCaskey, I love this. He'd get lost with me after 5 minutes. I mean, come on. I mean, I'd bring up a name he wouldn't even realize who I'm talking about, so, I mean, my God, be the expert that you should be when you own a football team. Learn, read, do what you got to do. I like the glasses, John.
Thanks, Mike. You ever do glasses? Yeah. You ever do that or no? You ever need them?
No. Well, I got them, but I don't wear them. I don't go anywhere. I look out the window and see a headlight and get excited. That's my deal.
Last question today. Who's the best quarterback you've ever seen?
Best quarterback? Well, the rules were different back then. Johnny Unitas was the man. I mean, he got mangled, and he showed up every week. He wouldn't believe what they set out for today. But Otto Graham had 10 title-winning seasons. But the best I've ever seen is Brady. But hands down, 44. Steve DeBerg. I remember older quarterbacks. George Blanda. They were a freak, and they played like a couple games a year. This guy's carrying the franchise on his shoulders. I mean, it's unbelievable what he's done. They got good players, but man, he is the straw that stirs the drink. Best I ever seen.
Surprised you didn't say Mitch Trubisky.
No, but he's the best Bear quarterback I've seen in the last 15 years. That I'll tell you. I mean, Cutler was 57 and 57, and people goes, "Oh, he's got an extension." Thank you. For what? For what? He was 1-11 versus the Packers or something. Huh? You can't take a bigger dump than that. You can't take a bigger dump than that. I talked to Matt Humans out there at Visson in Vegas. He says he was never a competitor. People in Chicago fall in love with names or hype or just listen to the same old. And yay! No yay. No yay. So I'm there to keep a check on everybody, John. You know that.
Oh, I know that. That's why I love having you on this program.
Yeah.
Mike, thank you.
Oh, I love to be on. Yeah, you know what? I have a good time. I mean, today you got down a little late. I was concerned. I thought maybe you were doing last-minute paperwork and stuff like that. But then I found out it was me with the Zoom, so I have no idea. I mean, Zoom. I mean, I know whoever dreamt this, right? This is awesome. This is awesome. Changed a lot of things. I get to show my bad hairdo today. Took a shower beforehand. Didn't put enough care into my hair. I thought that'd be a lesson to everybody. Look at John. Look at John, moose down.
Yeah.
The headphones are like not even on top of it. They're like above it. They're just like there's a layer of grease that it's just like hovering. That's what's happening. Got the beard going. The whole thing. You know. Got the. Gee, is that the real background? No, I'm just kidding.
Thanks so much for coming on, Mike. Always appreciate the time with you.
Yeah, I'll look forward to all the comments. I don't look at them. I don't want to be hurt. I'm a sensitive guy. I'll see you, buddy.